Welcome to Ask Me Anything, featuring spiritual medium and psychotherapist Kellee White.
Hi, everybody. I am spiritual medium Kellee White, and welcome to Ask Me Anything. And today is January 5th, 2023. I honestly didn't know if I'd make it, not because I was running late, but because of the rain in California. I didn't know if our producer Renee was going to be able to make it, but he did. So I couldn't be happier that he's here to join us. So many people that are in California right now are really getting walloped. We're just getting hit with a little snow here in Wisconsin, but rain in LA and rain in Southern California, and rain in California is a huge deal for so many reasons, and it causes a lot of stress and problems. So anyway, welcome everybody. A happy new year. What a way to begin a new year, huh? So I want to say hi to everybody. Hi, Patricia. Peaceful 2023 to you and to all of us too. Please, God. Heidi Salem. Hi, Heidi. Hi, Michelle. And Heather, she says, I'm curious to know, I watched the show on YouTube and on Facebook, and I answer questions from both. And Renee assures me that all the questions come together. So that's how I do it. And Heather also says that you're a 7. It's a 7-year. Yes, I'm going to talk about the year. It's a 7-year, 2023. Brings a lot of spirituality. It brings universal peace. It has an ability to bring universal peace to it. And so it should, if you are a 7, then it would be a lot of things that you'll be learning this year about yourself. So that's a good thing. I think, it's always a good thing. So hi, Deborah. Oh, I'm so glad to see everybody. Hi, Dee Dee. Hi, Claire. And you were born in 1957. Yes, it's 22 a year. Happens to be my favorite year also. So Jerry asked a good question. He says, how do you know if you were born in a 7-year? You add up the digits. So this is 2023. So if we add 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 3, it equals 7. So Jerry, if you were born in the 1960 is a 7-year. I know that because my sister was born in 1960. So I always, that's an easy one for me to calculate. So how do you ask questions, Claire? Go ahead and write them out here. But I thought, and hi, Tom, thank you. I'm glad to be back too. I hope everybody had a really good, safe New Year's Eve. I know I did. We actually went to Texas, and it was so wild because we left in the middle of that blizzard. We got hit in the blizzard, and we made it safely. We flew to Dallas, and Dallas was having some snow very lightly. They don't do snow as well as Wisconsin. Wisconsin does snow like, I don't know. It's unbelievable how well they do snow. But we got to Dallas safely and a little late, but we made it home also safely, which was really happy. Unfortunately, my brother Theo, if you had watched the show with Theo, he was with us on for Christmas and for several days. And when they flew, they couldn't fly back. They were on Southwest. And so they had to actually rent a car and drove all the way back to Taos, New Mexico. So a lot of people I knew had, got stranded. So I'm glad that we did not, and we didn't get sick. So I was really happy about that. So Kellee Elizabeth Johnson. Hi, Kellee. She's, hi, Kellee. I'm wondering how my son will do this year. He's going through an intense breakup right now with 3 children. Kellee, that's a hard one, isn't it? And somebody else asked a question about divorce that we'll talk about in today's show. But it's a hard one when there's children. And I always have to use the lens of what is everybody learning. So at first there's a tragedy. At first it's really difficult and it's extremely challenging. And so every soul would have chosen to be in that family and will learn about themselves in different ways as they get older and older. But it's a hard one, Kellee. It's a hard one. I've been through that myself, and it's a tough one. So hi, everybody. Thank you. Thank you, Barbara. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about January. Okay. Because I did a prediction show and with James, and we gave a lot of information. But I want to talk about January right now because I think it's important this month. You know how you start a new year and we always think, it's a new year. And, I'm going to make my resolutions and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And there's that energy of the new year that comes in, which is amazing. Well, this year we have two situations that made us not really feel so much like it's a new year. It's almost like a continuation of dragging that old year in with us, because Mercury is retrograde and Mars is retrograde. And so it's a harder way to begin a new year. So if you've made some resolutions, I'm going to do this or I'm going to do that, don't be hard on yourself if you find that you haven't been able to start anything yet, because when we get to about January 18th, Mars and Mercury will be direct again. And from that point, the New Year's Eve's things that you've said you're going to do for the year, it's a better time to manifest them. And speaking of that, tomorrow we have a full moon. Now I'm going to talk Vedic astrology, and in Vedic astrology, it's in Gemini. And that full moon tomorrow, they call it the wolf moon. So I live out in the country, and we've been hearing like wolves and coyotes. And I thought, well, that makes a lot of sense. The wolf moon, not a pleasant sound, by the way. But this moon, this full moon tomorrow, it brings about hope. It brings infinite possibilities. It helps us look into our future. And it's a really dynamic full moon about renewal. Now, we're still in this influence of Mercury retrograde and Mars retrograde. So it's almost like you want to put your foot on the gas, but at the same time, your foot's on the brake. So, but I want you to know that this full moon, because I get asked this question a lot, is a full moon to go ahead and put your crystals out. It's very cold where I am, and it's raining in California, so I'm not sure where you'll put your crystals, but it's a good time for them to go outside if you can manage that. It actually is a good time for that. But this full moon brings a lot of confidence, and I think it's well needed right now, much needed. Also, because it's a full moon, emotions always tend to run high. So just know that emotions are going to run high, but it also brings the potential of something good to happen. And I think I love that infinite possibilities about this moon. So I think it's really important. So, and on January 14th, Mars finally goes direct, and it's been in retrograde for months at this point. And it's still, again, in Vedic astrology, it's still in Taurus. So once it goes direct, the energy starts to really come in, and you'll see in the world, there'll be a lot of probably, it could lead to more wars. It could lead to more anger. It could mean more energy running forward. But Mars is always something to watch. But so it is going to go direct right now on the 14th. And that's on some level for all of us will feel more energetic as opposed to kind of not feeling as energetic as we could. So, and on January 17th, we have an unbelievable aspect, and that's in, again, Vedic astrology, Saturn enters Aquarius, and it's been in Capricorn for 2.5 years, and it's going to enter Aquarius. So Aquarius is the sign of humanity, and it changes, there'll be a shift in consciousness. It's not going to happen overnight. It's going to be there for little over 2 years in Aquarius, but it's a big deal when Saturn changes signs. So that's the 17th. So you can see there's a lot of things that go on in January. Technology will be big because Aquarius rules technology, healing, new modalities of healing. And I said this in the predictions, and I really believe this, that people that have had mental illness, and I hate to even call it mental illness, people that have been depressed, people who have been anxious, people that have had, breakdowns. This is going to be really an extraordinary year 2 years and 2.5 years really for healing with new ways, new opportunities to heal. I really feel that that's going to be happening here. And on January 18th, Mercury finally goes direct. Now, it's been in Sagittarius in Vedic astrology, and it will remain in Sagittarius. And we're going to have 4 Mercury retrogrades this year, 4, just like in 2022. And that's a lot. And this year, everyone is in a fire sign. So when you hear me say Mercury's in retrograde, it'll be in a fire sign, which on some levels, like right now it's in Sagittarius and it's going to be direct on the 18th. Sagittarius speaks the truth. They tend to be explosive, but it also tends to be really inspirational. So I think all of our thoughts are going to be broadened during when Mercury goes direct. It's a great time to write. It'll be a great time to write also. And then the last thing I want to talk about is on January 22nd. And that is, again, January is a very full month. January 22nd, we have the Chinese New Year. And last year, in about this period of time, it's on a different date every year. Like sometimes it's in February, but last year of 2022, it was in the year of the water tiger. So there was a lot of emotions. Tigers bring a lot of emotions. This year, it's in the rabbit, the water rabbit. So water also represents, emotions, but the rabbit is patient, it's prosperity, it's kind, it brings good luck, it knows how to negotiate. So I'm thinking that this year will be better on some levels than some of the years that we have had, 2020, 2021, and 2022, which were really rough. This year we'll have some of those aspects. We didn't sign up, and I say this every time I get to speak, we didn't sign up for easy to come to Earth during this time. In fact, I don't think there was ever an easy time on planet Earth. It's a challenging planet, to say the least. And so this year we'll be looking at and dealing with things maybe of having diplomacy, talking things through, being kind to one another, those kind of things, possibly. I sure hope anyway. I sure hope that would be. And I have a thank you for everybody writes questions, and I really appreciate the comments and the questions here. So one of the questions that I wanted to start with, which I thought was a good one here, and this is from Judy Legacy. So Judy Legacy, she says, "Happy New Year to everyone." And she said, "Is there something that we can all focus on together to make this year a better year for all of us? Or does it have to be for ourselves?" Now, it's always good to focus on yourself as far as how to make yourself better and what to do that's better. But what everybody can do this year, and it goes with that year of the rabbit, is be kinder, be gentler, be nice to people. And you'll see when you're nice to somebody or you're kind to somebody, that goes a long way, as opposed to the opposite. I have a good, wonderful family member that was at the airport stuck for 12 hours, which would test anybody yesterday. And I said, please, whatever you do, be kind out there because everybody's dealing with it, So everybody needs to be as kind as they possibly can. So hi, Vicki Nasons. Oh, I missed you too. She said, you look beautiful. Thank you. As you know, let's see. I know you lost your husband, Vicki, so let's get you a card from Talking to Heaven. And I also want to talk, after this, I want to talk about today's date, January 5th, because there are a lot of birthdays out there. And I do want to talk about what this date means for everybody who's told me it was their birthday today. So we're going to talk about that. But let's get a card, Vicki. Okay. And Vicki says, I'm surrounded by orbs. Every photo I have taken has an orb shows up. Also, I asked my husband for a sign, and out of the blue, his chat popped up and all of his voice messages were there that I had forgotten about. Do you see anything you can tell me? I've been through a lot, but when I know he's with me, it brings great comfort. Well, I have chills as I'm reading that, and I'm very clear, sentient, so I can feel a lot. And orbs are from your husband. So if you look at a picture, if anybody can do this, if you look at a picture, and let's say you've lost somebody, it's amazing to see the orbs appear. They're like little, I don't know, round circles, or they don't have to be round. They could be any shape, but it's an energy that all of a sudden shows up in a picture. And I think James and I have done a show on orbs. They're amazing, but it's your husband, definitely. And all of a sudden when things pop up, I don't know why I have to go with this card. Oh, this is perfect. Oh, Vicki, they had a picture of this one. I watch over you every day. Oh my gosh, isn't that great? I love it when it works like that. I just love that. I think that's so great. Um, our loved ones are always around. So let me talk about today's date because I know people had said to me it was their birthday today. So happy birthday for anybody that's out there today as your birthday. So if it's your birthday today, you are a 9 of spades. So let's talk about that. I always say this: if anybody was born between January 1st and about January 13th, those are some very powerful days. They're karmic days, and they bring significant life lessons. And that means that you took life very seriously in this lifetime. Not that we don't all take life seriously, but there's something about the karma of those dates. Today is a 9 of spades. And 9 of spades, there are 2 other dates that have a 9 of spades, and I will tell you what they are. It's February 3rd. If you're born on February 3rd, you'd be a 9 of spades. Or if you were born on March 1st. So March 1st also is a 9 of spades. So if you're a 9 of spades, nines are here to complete a soul cycle. But when you have a 9 of spades, they have to complete like every soul cycle. It's a very powerful, can be intense date, a 9 of spades. They are often, what I hear from them is, this is my last lifetime, because they're such old souls that when they're young, they know they're old. They may not look old, but they know they're old. They come in this way. And January 5th certainly is one of those power days of this. Now, the thing that a 9 of spades has to do is they have to look at negative behavior, negative thoughts. They cannot afford a negative thought, but they will say, refer to 9 of spades as, this is my last lifetime. You know, when you've heard people say that, I mean, you've heard me say it, I've said it many times, but 9 of spades, literally, emotionally, they can do anything. It just has to be, they have to make really good choices. 9 of spades. So this year with Mercury retrograde during this January 5th, it will mean, if your birthday is today, that will bring things back. It will bring all of us things back because of Mercury retrograde. But today, if you actually celebrate a birthday before before January 18th, it means the year is somewhat, you know, that old-fashioned term cattywampus? It's kind of cattywampus. It brings things back. When you're like, didn't I already go through this? Haven't I learned this? No, it'll just bring things back. Not a bad thing. It's just is a thing. That's all. So I just wanted to say that. Lori Clark. Hi, Kellee. I'm glad you're back. Thank you. Will my eye get better before I go to the cataract doctor? Yes, thank you. I had a good time. I would definitely go see your doctor, though. I mean, cataracts are nothing to fool around with. I would, and then of course I'd have to say, is there something you don't want to see? But cataracts happen, you know, our bodies just start to age, and that happens. But I often wonder about things like that, if it's something you don't want to see anymore. Okay, hi, Renee. Oh, let's see. Okay, wait, Clara Elena Hargreaves. Hi, Clara. That was my grandmother's name. Hi, Kellee. Happy New Year 2023. My son Tristan turns 15 today. There you go. So let me get a card for him. So 2008. So what would make him different is 5, 6, 7. So he's a 7 also. So I added up all the numbers. 8 and 2. 2008 is a 10, which comes down to a 1. 5, 6, 7. That's an easy one. It will be quite a year for him. And I'm going to pull a card from him. We'll do a message from his guides. How's that? But what's interesting about this is, if you were a 7, if you are in numerology a 7, and you could just add up all of your numbers, your birth month, birth date, and birth year. If you are, and it's a 7 year this year, 7 is about spirituality. Belief systems will be checked. Finding yourself, believing in yourself, again, being more gentle. Sevens sometimes, it's funny, even in my destiny system that I use, 7 of clubs particularly, they sometimes have to watch either using drugs, alcohol, using substances, using things, or watching their friends who do. So it's usually something like that because it's a spiritual lesson. What are they learning? They've got to learn boundaries. Sevens have to learn a lot, but let's get a birthday for your son, Clara. Okay. Okay, here we go. Never judge another. So I don't know if he's judgy. I have no idea, but I love his name. He's got a great name. Never judge another. Tell him to get in touch with his guides, with his spirit guides, because I know they're all around him. Okay. Hi, Renee Hounsel. She says, beautiful blessings, everyone. Hoping James is okay in the rain. I talked to him today and it was pouring. Yes, it was pouring. But you know what? He's got that great garden. So, I mean, it's perfect. And James and I will be back on Monday doing both sides now. So we'll talk about the rain and we'll talk about the New Year's, actually what we're going to talk about. Sherry Kraft says, hi, Kellee, south of Oregon. Yes, lots of rain and wind here as well, I bet. Hi, Lizette. Happy New Year. Oh, my gosh. What a week. That's true. So Sharon M. Hi, Kellee and Renee. 2022 brought lots of endings and relationships and my job. It's been rough. Starting to look for a new job. Any insights into 2023? Your second Saturn return. So second Saturn return, the first Saturn return happens when you're about anywhere from, I don't know, 27, 28, usually 28, 29, that period of time. And the first Saturn return is when Saturn comes back into our chart. It is about, let's say, like getting serious. Life gets serious. You often will get married. Often you'll buy a home, get a career together, have children. Sometimes it hits all at once. But a second Saturn return happens when you're about 58, 59, 60. And what happens with the second Saturn return is it brings with it Jupiter. So it's not just Saturn. Saturn is like, work, health, serious stuff, karma, all that kind of thing. Jupiter is larger. It's expansive. It brings good things. Jupiter we always look for where Jupiter is in somebody's chart because it's really a good thing. So when you have at around 60, 58, 59, 60, and you have a second Saturn return, everything is possible because you're bringing a change of something with Saturn. Saturn will bring some sort of career change. That's why a lot of people will start thinking if they're going to retire, what they want to do. But it brings the wisdom with it, and it brings like some contentment piece to it. So Sharon, it's a good thing. And you are 325. So that's actually it's a good thing here. And you're at a Jack of Clubs. My goodness, honey, you could do anything. Jack of Clubs all Jacks will have energy forever till they die. I mean, it's just forever. Jack of Clubs brings a lot of energy, youthful energy, and it has a great brain. So start looking for any job, anything good that brings your heart joy. Okay, keep going. Something good will happen. Something good will happen. Okay. DeCamps Dawn. Hi, Kellee. Just before the holidays, the world felt so heavy. Feeling a bit lighter. Thank you for using astrology when explaining things. Oh, you're so welcome. I think it's important. And it did feel heavy, didn't it? I agree with that. And I think we're going to have time periods of that. But I think what you're already feeling too is that full moon tomorrow. And that full moon tomorrow brings a lot of insight. I don't know, some hopeful things. It brings a lot of hope. And I happen to be big on that. I did want to answer this question too. There were a lot of good questions here, but this is funny. I love this one. Nancy Rodriguez, I appreciate you writing this to me. She said, Happy New Year, Kellee. I'm confused. Her birthday is September 3rd. I'm confused about thinking I was a Virgo, and now I'm in Vedic astrology. I'm a Leo. So let me explain that. Yes, you are. September 3rd in Vedic astrology is a Leo. Like the reason I talk about Vedic astrology is it's simply another lens to get to know yourself, and know thyself is everything. And I love to use different lenses to think, well, maybe the possibility is of this. And some people will really only gravitate 9-3. They've been conditioned to think Virgo. I get it. I totally get it. But using a lens to view things in another way is I think is really a good thing to do. And the way I view it is you're an 8 of diamonds. So sometimes I don't even use the astrology. I go straight to that. You're an 8 of diamonds, which is really a magical in itself. All 8s have this amazing ability to transcend and overcome things. 8s bring a universal power to it. So I think that is a good thing too. So let's see. And then there was another question that I thought was really good too, that I wanted to get to. Oh, this was okay. So this cracked me up. So on New Year's Eve, we had a few people over. Unfortunately, 2 of our friends that were coming over got really sick and they couldn't come. So our little party got even littler, but it was a wonderful New Year's Eve and with friends and family, and it was just wonderful. But what happened is we have these 2 big dogs. I mean, they're just brutes. And Otis and Charlotte love them to death. And Don heard this noise outside. So this is New Year's Eve. It's like, I don't know, 9 o'clock at night, and it's, dark out, and the dogs are going nuts. And it turned out, we found out that it was a possum. Now, we actually have not had possums that we've seen out here, and somehow it got into our yard, and it's really fenced up, but somehow it made its way in. And so Don said to me, "What is a possum? Like what?" And Don's the only one that saw it, by the way. So obviously it's a totem for him. Well, I got an email, or I got a question today from somebody, and I love this question. I thought this was hysterical because it was about a woman who had a dream about a possum. And I have to find this because I thought it was so great. Deb Ebhart. And I know you said that you had seen a lot of animals, and I love all the animals that you had seen. But what really got my attention is she said right after New Year's Day, she said, I had a dream about a heavy possum sitting in my lap. I've read about their symbolism, but it doesn't resonate. Any thoughts? I've never dreamed of animals before. Okay, so Deb, that made me, I had to laugh because I had to do some research. So I was going to write something about possums. And then I was like, no, I think I'll pass on that. Well, I'm glad that you did. So let's talk about possum. If anybody's out there and they happen to see a possum, because they're really, really interesting. They can teach us a lot about our lives, actually. They're really resilient. Possums are really resilient. They work together for the greater good of the community. And they teach us about living in harmony with others. But what I really found out about them is that they can figure out any problem. So if a possum is on your lap in your dream, it's going to help you figure out something that you've needed to figure out. Okay, so there, I wanted to answer that. Okay, here we go. Christy Henley, my quad brother. I kept asking you about past and Thanksgiving. I know he is at peace. I inherited his properties. Shall I wait to make a contract to sign to sell? Oh, Christy, first of all, let's get you a message from him because he's definitely around, Christy. I would not sign any contract right now because of Mercury retrograde until after the 18th of January, probably even wait a few days after that, unless it's absolutely necessary, and read the contract really, really well. Okay. But yes, your brother is definitely at peace here. Let me get you a card from him. Okay, honey. You are never alone. All right, Christy, he's always with you. You're never alone. I get the sense that he's with a lot of family on that side too, and feeling really good, Okay. So Jerry Dromboski, great question. He says, or she says, Kellee, do we ever miss out on our soul's mission because we missed out on opportunities when they came about? I feel like I missed my chance. Great question. So how do I answer that question? Let me think about that. Such a good question, Jerry. I'm so glad you asked that. If you already are feeling that you missed out, Can you go back and do a redo? Is it possible to go back? And I mean, just some people miss our opportunities. I always feel that you always will have another opportunity to do something here. So don't be hard on yourself. But if you know what your soul's mission is that you missed out on, go back. There'll always be time to open that up. That's really what I would do, Jerry. Because I don't ever feel that you missed your opportunity. Often we're not in a place emotionally or mentally to actually take that leap of faith into our soul's journey. So then that means that there'll be another, time that you'll have that opportunity. But really, if I were you, Jerry, I would be writing it down exactly what my soul's journey is, what my mission is, and then make a plan. And then all of a sudden you'll see the universe opens doors like this. Okay. So great question. Thank you for asking that question. I really appreciate that very much, because I think life missions are important. And I think when you get to a certain place in your life, after you've had so many lessons, it's a really good time to start doing your life's work. It's not too late. I would start doing it. That's what I would do. But then there was another question I wanted to get to, because I thought this was a good one too. I can find this one. This was about, it was so important here. Oh, well, here's one. This is from Josie Jackson. Josie Jackson. She said, I was planning a big Christmas trip and I had some doubts. Okay, I think a lot of us did, because, it was a crazy time. At the last minute, her plane was canceled. And she said, I was sent home from the airport. I was really sad, but I've had feelings that something negative would have happened if I had gone. Any thoughts of this situation? Almost like a premonition. And is that a push from the universe? It happened before. Yes, that's a push from the universe. Absolutely, Josie. That is your own intuition. Absolutely. Universe probably saved you from not going, that something could have happened. I mean, we always have to listen to our intuition, always. And I mean, if you can. Often I just kind of push back. Janet Nipper, she says, hi, Kellee, Happy New Year. I'm going back into the workforce at 60. Yay. Super excited and nervous at the same time, but it's a must for my family's security for the future. Do you see any roadmaps in the stars to light my way? Well, yes, I'm going to tell you something exciting, Janet. Your birthday is September 19th. That makes you a 5 of clubs. So a 5 of clubs can do anything. I mean, talk about energy. It's like you are here to, you'd be bored if you weren't working and doing something. You've got to be doing something. Oh, I think it's great, honey. I think it's great that you're going to be doing that. I think that the year really clears up for you. And I think you're going to have a really good sailing ahead. Okay, wait, there was this other question I have to get to because, let's see. Let me find this one. If I can find this one, I am going to read it because it was a good one too. Hold on a second. Oh, I love this. Heather Glenn. I enjoy having a hot toddy with you and JVP on Monday nights. Thank you. Me too. I love that too. It was somebody who asked me about what it's like. Oh, here we go. This is from Tippy Landis. Tippy. She said, Kellee, I want to thank you for sharing your knowledge. You're so welcome. My question is this, and this is really, I thought about this all day, Tippy. She said, my question is, why, when things seem bad for the world and even for my friends, my life feels good? And when everyone around me seems to be doing well, I'm not. I've always felt this. Is there some sort of balance in the energies? Yes, Tippy. So when you're feeling good and the world or people around you are not, it's a beautiful thing in the sense that you can then help lend your energies to help them and vice versa. When they are you're feeling bad and they're feeling good, they can help lend you a hand. And I think that's why the energies have always been scattered. So I know during 2020, I mean, I felt very, as scary as it was, and it was a rough time, I felt very like I could help a lot of people. I just felt that I could do it during that time. I was kind of divinely placed here to do that. And even though I witnessed an awful lot of things happen, of course, to everybody, but I just felt that the universe was protecting me so I could do that. So anyway, there's a balance in the universe that way. Yeah. So it was a great question, and I really loved it. Thank you for that. Hi, Renee. I've been experiencing vivid premonitions and had the blessing of validating them. Wow. I've never experienced this clearly and strongly. Do you have cycles of certain abilities that get stronger during certain periods? Yes, grateful for any insights. So, what happens spiritually is our Kundalini energy, that's our life force, starts to rise. And it can begin with vivid premonitions. It actually absolutely can. It's the energy that's moving forward, moving through us. And so, there will be certain times, and you can't predict when this is. I can't say, during the full moon, this will happen. I can't say that because it's when the universe says it's time for it to happen. It's the wildest thing. You have to be open to it. You'll get validations for it. And then what happens is your vibration starts to rise. And then from the vivid premonitions might come some intense psychic phenomenon might happen. Things might move. I had that problem for a long time. Fires start, it's kind of a drag. Nobody wanted to be around me. Things break and shatter. Oh, those kind of things happen. So it often will start with premonitions, vivid premonitions. So I wish I could tell you when the certain periods are, but I really can't. It's funny how spirit works. It's funny how our energy works, isn't it? But since that is happening, Renee, take really good care of yourself physically. Really good, like rest and drink a lot of water. Because when you're having these kind of things, anybody who's having any type of that type of energy shift or change, it takes a lot of electricity in our system. So you need to drink a lot of water. Okay, Heather Chamberlain Pike. Hi there. I am starting a business spiritual course. Oh, good. A business spiritual course. Was going to bring it live on a 7. Okay. Do you see it being successful in the first quarter? 320. And so you're 3 of diamonds. Let's see. 320. 3 of diamonds. And let's see. My husband is also trying to start a business, and he's January 28th. He's a queen of clubs. Do I see his being successful? I think that you both will have success because 3 of diamonds, one thing about them, if they work hard, they can accomplish anything. And the same with a queen of clubs. They get a little anxious, but their mind doesn't really ever turn off. So that could be helpful in business, actually. But do it. I think it'll be really good. I mean, this is going to be a 7-year. And a 7-year is all about spirituality. And I think people are going to be wanting that. So good. I'm glad that you're doing that. Good for you. Okay, good. Okay, Candace Mikes. I have a life problem. Seems like I've been stuck for years. Any insight on what I should do to get out of this? So I don't know if anybody saw, I think we talked about this before, Stutz, the documentary Stutz. It's about Phil Stutz. He's a psychiatrist, actually, who lives in Los Angeles, and it's with Jonah Hill. It's really great. One of the things he says, Candace, is that if people who are stuck, you have to look at the body. It's like 85% of the body. So are you moving? Are you anxious? Are you depressed? If you're stuck, often people are depressed. Do something about it. See a therapist. Try medication. Try a remedy. Try exercise. Try anything. In other words, only you can unstick yourself. And it's taking the risk of looking at yourself and what can I do to make a change here? This is a great year for making a change. And tomorrow, Candace, with this full moon, really set that intention. And then here's a sign that my mom gave me. If you could see it, just do it. Okay. So should I repeat that? Just do it. Okay. Because that's the truth. You just have to do it. Nobody can do it for you. But thank you. I appreciate that. Let me get, you know what, Candace, I'm going to get you a card from your guides. Here we go. Follow the golden rule. And the golden rule is get out and what? Just do it. Okay. I think that's going to be really important for you. Okay. So Claire Stokes O'Brien, can you tell me if my son in spirit is assisting my son here on earth with his current struggle? Oh, I have chills. Absolutely he is. Absolutely. Let me get a card from him. I don't know why, but Claire, let's talk about this. You have nothing to feel guilty about. So I don't know if there was guilt on any between the sons, between you. I have no idea. It's something that might be something to think about. But the answer is yes, of course he's absolutely helping. Our loved ones help us on the other side. That's just part of what they do here. Okay, so it's a really good thing. Um, let's see, Susan Forbes, personal year of 1, and your birthday is on 12/9, December 9th, which is a 9 of clubs. And you, let me see, move to a new state, a job, and back on purpose or money. I'm not sure what I mean by that. Move to a state, a job. Well, do it. Do all of it. You're 9 of clubs. You're here to complete a cycle. Do it. Absolutely. Do whatever, all of that. Oh, Dolly Lynn here. She said, my best friend passed yesterday. Lynn, how is she? She had MS and she was 79. Well, let's get a card from her. Now, I'm going to tell you that, she's just passed. So usually what happens is I will always say to people, every once in a while we can feel them right around. Well, we usually can in the beginning, but anybody who wants a reading who's just lost somebody, I just want to say, wait a good month, good 2 months. Okay, I think that's good if you can. But let's get a card from her. Okay, Dolly? I'm with the rest of the family. So she's with her family. Okay, Dolly, she's with her family here. That's a hard one. I would hate to lose my best friends. I would just hate that. Totally. Heidi Miranda. Hi, Kellee. My mom's death anniversary remembrance day was last month, and I'm hoping for a reading or a message. Well, let's get a card for you, Heidi. Okay, she says there is no such thing as death. And whenever I see that message is to let you know that she is very much alive on the other side. Very, very, very much. Okay? And I want to tell you that this woman would do anything for you. Anything. So pay attention, because also she looks like she's really active on that side with friends. So Ginger, I love the name Ginger. Ginger Speed. That's a great name. Good evening. Thank you for sharing your knowledge. You and James helped me so very much. Well, you're very welcome. And let's get you a card, Ginger. Thoughts create your reality. So it's a card for you and for people to remember that we want to keep really good thoughts going. Goals are good, Sherry. You're absolutely right. Absolutely. I think they're really okay. Susan Forbes, yes, you can put your crystals out in Texas. Perfect. Okay, Vicky says, I'm surrounded by orbs. Okay, good. I'm so glad, Vicky, that you are here. Okay, Jerry says, Kellee, with this full moon, it makes me think, do we ever, oh, I did answer that. Yes. Yeah, no, don't worry. We're not going to miss you're not going to miss your what you're supposed to be here for. Linda says, Kellee, as an empath, this is Linda Bozaleski. Kellee, as an empath, it's been very difficult. So let me address that. It is difficult as an empath. We almost have to develop a strong backbone and know thyself. You have to know yourself so well as an empath, because what happens is, what it means to be an empath is you feel everything. Like, I could walk into a room. I don't have to walk into a room. I already feel it. I already know what they're thinking. I already have it. And it's not an easy thing. When I was younger, I thought everybody had it, and they don't. And in fact, I should say this, that Shirley and Pellizzari and I, Dr. Shirley and I, are teaching a class February 25th on narcissists. And the reason I bring that up now is narcissists are like heat-seeking missiles to empaths. So I will be talking about that. And it hasn't been, I'm just starting to talk about it now, but it will be February 25th. It's going to be a 3-hour session with Shirley and me, a 3-hour event, I should say. And we're going to talk about surviving a narcissist. What to look out for, what is a narcissist. And it's going to be a dialogue between Shirley and me. And then we're going to do a whole hour of your questions and answers. Because Shirley's a psychologist and I'm a psychotherapist, plus as a medium, we can talk a lot into depth about a narcissist. And they are out there, particularly with empaths. They're like heat-seeking missiles to them. And so we'll be talking about that. And the other thing I want to talk about is Prajna Avalon and I, thank you, Renee. We have our final On January 28th, our final Lemuria and Atlantis. And this is the gifts from the lost civilizations. We're doing part 3. So and please join us for part 3. We will be doing, catching up with part 1 and part 2. We'll be talking about that. And then we're going to launch into part 3. But you can also, I believe on my site, on my website, we are still selling part 1 and part 2 if you wanted to. But if you just want to do part 3, please join us, because I think it's going to be amazing. Prajna is an excellent teacher, and boy, she had her situation, right? I mean, she had a whole foot problem, and she's doing much better, thank you. But boy, it's been a time for all healers, I can tell you that. Ardelia Cannon says, hi, Ardelia in Australia. Oh my God, technology. Samsung phone upgrade has a glitch in it, and people have lost all their data on their phones. Oh no. And their pictures, that'd be such a drag. I mean, we're going to see a lot of that with Saturn moving from Capricorn into Aquarius this month, Mercury going direct this month, Chinese New Year this month. We're going to see some changes. So I think it's going to be, kind of an intense month. Okay, Rosemary Curtis, I'm having surgery on my hand on January 24th. Is that a good day for surgery? Yes. Yes, Rosemary. Yes. It is, because there's a lot of things that have already happened by that day. Perfect. Very good. So I think that's very good. So Mary, let's see. Oh, hi, Diana. Diane Lawson. My birthday is tomorrow. Okay. So tomorrow, the full moon. And my disabled son who has passed. Well, we're going to get you a card from him. I'm linked to 7s and 4s, and I see 444 a lot. And is that spirit that are around me? So Diane, 444, when anybody sees that, those are the angels. And I would say that's definitely your son on the other side, who's not disabled on that side. Wants me to make sure that you understand that he's not disabled on that side. He chose that in this life so he could help you. He could help others through compassion, forgiveness. He's telling me things were complicated in this lifetime for him. So, and he's going to be there with you on your birthday. And a funny thing is, Diane, did he have a thing for wolves? Did he have a wolf tattoo, or do you have things for wolves? I don't know. I just got that with him. Something about a wolf here, but let me get you a card. Oh, and he says, I watch over you every day, Mom. Okay, so he'll be there with his arms wrapped around you for your birthday. No doubt about it. Okay, Catherine Hafer. She says, do you know what was happening with the planets or energies Tuesday night? Lots of people commented that they couldn't sleep and the pets were going crazy. My cat was up crying. And yeah, Catherine, this week, I know exactly what you're describing. People actually asked me about Tuesday as well. There are some days that there was something about that day that caused a lot more anxiety for people. I just heard it across the board, and I could feel it. So I know exactly what you're talking about. I'm not sure exactly what the energies were on that day, but I want to tell you, I agree with that statement. I just think it's all of this energy that's still, still changing. I mean, we still have a lot of change. Okay, Robin Baker Florio. Great question, Robin. She says, how do you know if your loved one is visiting? Okay, I'm going to tell you. All of a sudden you have a thought of them, just pops in your mind. Or you might be doing the dishes and you feel something. Could be a cold breeze. It could be you hear a name. You could be that. It could be that you smell them. It could be that something energy shifted, because when their soul is next to you, you can feel it if you're sensitive. And even if you're not sensitive, I've heard people say, I was thinking about my sister who passed, or I was thinking about my brother. And well, of course they were there. They put that idea in your head because they were there. So even dense people can get it. But you just know, Robin, you just know. You can feel it, and you just know in your soul that they're there, and they are. So there you go. Lori Guther Young. Hi, Lori. I came into 2023 getting sick. Oh, honey, I'm so sorry. Still cough and congestion. I have numerology life path 7. Okay, great. In this 7 year, I think it's going to be a challenging growth year. It will, Lori. And I know that you are a medium and studying to be a psychotherapist. So I would say that it's a great year ahead. I'm sorry you got sick. So many people were sick at the end of the year, bringing it into the new year. So many. In fact, most people I knew. But I think this is going to be an extraordinary year for you because, and not only that, you were born on March 16th, which is also a seven of diamonds day. So there's a lot of sevens there. Seven is all about spirituality, and it really is too doing what you've come to do. And just look at it that way. Take really good care of yourself because you've been sick. Take good care of yourself. But I'm going to say it's going to be a good thing. Okay. Donna Cunning, my father died June 1st, 2021, and my sister is the executor. Is she going to share it with me and my brother Dean? My father has said in my reading with you that he would, but I don't feel confident my sister won't talk to me or my brother. You know, Donna, I still think that it will happen. Family dynamic is something, isn't it? And especially when it comes to money. And I can tell you on the other side, they're like this, like, oh my God, like what? Oh, the thing they want on the other side for us is, can we all get along? I feel like Rodney King. Can we just all get along? Family dynamics with money are rough, but I still feel that your dad it will happen there. I really still feel that way. Joseph Payton. Hi, Joseph. My wife of 46 years passed last November. Does she have a message for me? You bet she does, Joseph. Let me get a card out here for you. She's proud of the way you're handling things, she says to tell you. I'm proud of him. As a soul, I can be in several places at once. I think this unicorn picture brings a lot of fantasy and a lot of fun and a lot of possibilities. And I think she wants you to think this way, Joseph, is to have a lot of possibilities. And she is sitting there with you when you're drinking your coffee. So just know that. She just told me that. Okay, Cheryl Udell. Hi, Cheryl. Speaking of dreams, I had a dream the other night that I was lying down. I saw a Native Indian man that was a shaman. He rises out of me and says, "You are a seer, a shapeshifter, and you are of the Wolf clan." I keep seeing wolves now. It felt so real. Any thoughts? What is a shapeshifter? I never heard of it. Okay, wait, Renee, leave that up because this is amazing, Cheryl. That's amazing. That's not just a dream. You know, that's like a prophecy. That's a huge deal. That's uh, it's more than just a dream. I'm going to say it like that. So a shapeshifter is somebody that can come in and change shapes. Like crows are considered shapeshifters. Wolves are considered shapeshifters. People probably can be shapeshifters, but it sounds like the Native Indian man that you saw, the shaman that you saw, is your guide and letting you know that, you know, you're a shapeshifter yourself, or it would mean to me that you're going to be getting in touch spiritually with some deep spiritual ideas. And I think he's just came through you, but it would definitely be a guide of yours. I would say your guide. That's amazing. Don't ever forget that. Maybe paint it, draw it. It doesn't matter if you can't do art at all, but sketch it, color it so you don't forget it. Okay. That's when I first saw my guides and they actually appeared in front of me. I actually drew them so I would never, well, I couldn't forget anyway, but that I would always have them with me. So do that. I think that's amazing. And the shapeshifter is something that coyotes are shapeshifters. They can change. They're unbelievable. Wow, that's so powerful, Cheryl. Thanks for sharing that. Wow, very, very cool. Okay, let's see. I think that's very good. Okay, Sherry Abdu, I feel like a good year ahead, and you are February 2nd. So February 2nd is a 10 of spades, which is the really hard-working card. Very hard-working, 10 of spades. They work very hard. And let's get you a card. Accept your struggles as lessons. Okay, Sherry? So accept whatever goes on as something that everybody can take that with them, because whatever the struggles are, those are lessons. We come to Earth for lessons. That's why we come here. So, I mean, just don't forget that. Karen Abercrombie, she says, I have an amazing video of my granddaughter in orbs. How fabulous is that? How great is that? Denise Imson Smith, your birthday is January 11th. So again, if your birthday, it falls this year between January, well, if your birthday is between January 1st, January 13th, it's a very special time because it's very karmic, just in general. But because Mercury is retrograde, and you're January 11th, that's a 111. That's a very powerful date, January 11th. And January 11th of this year, and it's a 3 of spades, so it brings out a lot of creativity. Make sure you're doing creative things, because I think that's going to be important for you this year, Denise. Okay, Belinda Whip. Hi, Kellee. Hi, hold on, I'm going to answer that. Belinda, will I have any messages to help you this year? Let's get a message from a loved one on the other side, Belinda, for you. Believe in yourself, Belinda. You can do it. You can do it. And Belinda, I think, if I'm not mistaken, you were with us when we went to Alaska with James a few years ago, and we're going back again to Alaska in August. It's going to be so fun. If you guys have never been to Alaska, if you've never been there and you've always wanted to go, this is going to be an amazing trip. And this is sometime in August. And I'm going to be there. It's going to be a lot of fun. And traveling with James is so fun. We always have a really good time. Okay, Susan McCaff. She says, Kellee, what's it called when someone who's alive on Earth enters one of your dreams when you're sleeping? You're not dreaming of the person. The individual enters without permission. That's odd. I don't know what that's called, because to me it would be a lucid dream. Is that what you're talking about, Susan? It could be called a lucid dream if that's what you're asking about. Enters your dream when you're sleeping and you're not dreaming of the person. It could be a lucid dream. I mean, feels very real when that happens. And lucid dreams, I think, are very real. Maybe that's the answer you're looking for. I hope that is. So everybody, please join James and me on Monday night. We're going to be talking about Happy New Year and, going on and what it's like to begin this year. And then join us. Prajna is going to be on the show in a couple of weeks. And we're going to be talking about our upcoming event, which is January 28th for Lemuria and Atlantis. And if you're at all interested in that period of time, it's really a magical experience. And Prajna does this amazing meditation in the end. It's mind-blowing. It's really a great event to attend. So if you can do that, it'll be on Zoom. So please, you can just find that on my website. And then Shirley Impellizzeri and I are going to be doing Narcissist, How to Survive and Thrive. And I'll see everybody Monday. Take care, everybody.
You've been listening to Ask Me Anything, featuring spiritual medium and psychotherapist Kellee White.